Today's lesson is on dividing mixed numbers. After today, you'll be able to interpret and compute quotients of fractions. First, we're going to look at our key idea for dividing mixed numbers. Write each mixed number as an improper fraction, then divide as you would with proper fractions. For our first example, we're dividing a mixed number by a fraction. We're going to find 4 1/2 divided by 3/8. If we estimate, we can say this is about 5 divided by 1/2, which would be 10. Our first step for this problem is to write 4 1/2 as an improper fraction. 4 1/2 would be 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 1 is 9, so 9 halves, and then we have divided by 3/8. When we are dividing fractions, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have 9 halves times 8 thirds. Now we're going to multiply 9 times 8 and 2 times 3. Now once we do that, we can see if we can cancel anything, if we can divide anything on the top and the bottom. So we have a 9 on the top and a 3 on the bottom, and we can divide both of those by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now we can look at our 8 and 2, and for 8 and 2 we can divide both of those by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now we're going to multiply what we have. We have 3 times 4 for the numerator, which is 12, and 1 times 1 for the denominator, which is 1. And 12 over 1 is 12. So the quotient is 12. And we can check to see if this is reasonable, and 12 is close to 10, so yes, it is reasonable. Now we have a couple of additional examples. You can pause the video and try them on your own, or you can follow along. We're going to divide, and we want to write our answer in simplest form. For number 1, we have 1 3/7 divided by 2 thirds. Our first step is to make 1 3/7 an improper fraction. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So we're going to have 10/7 divided by 2 thirds. Now we're going to do 10/7 times the reciprocal. So we have 10/7 times 3 halves. We're going to multiply 10 times 3 for the numerator and 7 times 2 for the denominator. We can see now if we have anything that we can simplify. 2 and 10 can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now we can go ahead and multiply across. 5 times 3 is 15. And then 7 times 1 is 7. The next thing we need to do is we need to make 15/7 a mixed number. So we're going to have 15 divided by 7. 7 goes into 15 2 times, and 2 times 7 is 14. When we subtract, we're going to get 1. So our answer is 2 1/7. Now for our second problem, we have 2 1/6 divided by 3/4. Our first step is to make 2 1/6 an improper fraction. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so we have 13/6 divided by 3/4. Now we're going to keep 13/6 the same, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have 13/6 times 4 thirds. Our next step is to go ahead and multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So we have 13 times 4 for the numerator and 6 times 3 for the denominator. Now we're going to look to see if we can simplify. We can simplify the 4 and the 6 by dividing both of those by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now we'll go ahead and multiply across. 13 times 2 is 26, and 3 times 3 is 9. Now we need to go ahead and make this into a mixed number. So we have 26 divided by 9 And this will go in 2 times. 2 times 9 is 18. Now we need to subtract 26 minus 18. We're going to have to borrow. This 2 will become a 1, and the 6 becomes a 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. So our answer is going to be 2 and 8 ninths. Now for our second example, we're dividing mixed numbers. We want to find 3 and 5/6 divided by 1 2/3. If we estimate, we can say this is about 4 divided by 2, which will be 2. Our first step is to make both of them into improper fractions. 3 and 5/6 would be 23/6, and 1 2/3 would be 5/3. Next, we're going to keep 23/6 the same, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 5/3 is 3/5. Now we're going to multiply the numerators, 23 times 3, and then we're going to multiply the denominators, 6 times 5. Our next step is to see if we can simplify. 3 and 6 can both be divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now we go ahead and multiply. 23 times 1 is 23, and 2 times 5 is 10. 23 tenths would be simplified to 2 and 3 tenths. 2 and 3 tenths is close to 2, so our answer is reasonable. Now we have a couple of additional examples. You can pause the video and try them on your own, or you may follow along. We're going to divide, and we want to write our answer in simplest form. For our first problem, we have 8 and 1/4 divided by 1 1/2. We're going to go ahead and make these both into improper fractions. 8 and 1/4 would be 33/4, and 1 1/2 would be 3/2. So we have 33/4 divided by 3/2. Our next step is to keep 33/4 the same and multiply by the reciprocal. So we'll have 33/4 times 2/3. For this problem, we're going to do 33 times 2 for the numerator and 4 times 3 for the denominator. Our next step is to see if we can simplify. 4 and 2 can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. 3 and 33 can both be divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 33 divided by 3 is 11. Now if we multiply across, we're going to have 11 times 1, which is 11, and 2 times 1 is 2. Now we'll go ahead and see if we can simplify. We'll make this into a mixed number. 11 divided by 2. 2 goes into 11 5 times, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now we can go ahead and subtract 11 minus 10, which is 1. So our answer is 5 and 1/2. For our next problem, we have 6 and 4/5 divided by 2 and 1/8. Our first step is to make both of them into improper fractions. 6 and 4/5 would be 34/5, and 2 and 1/8 would be 17/8. So we have 34/5 divided by 17/8. We're going to keep 34/5 the same, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 34/5 times 8/17. Next, we'll go ahead and multiply our numerators, 34 times 8, and we'll multiply the denominators, 5 times 17. Now we look to see if we can simplify. 17 and 34 can both be divided by 17. 17 divided by 17 is 1, and 34 divided by 17 is 2. Now we'll go ahead and multiply across. 2 times 8 is 16, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now we need to make this into a mixed number. So we have 16 divided by 5. 5 goes into 16 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. 16 minus 15 is 1. So our mixed number is 3 and 1/5. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember you can watch the video again if needed.